Hey, welcome back to the Beer Garden, or the Wiesen, as we say here, the meadow, because of this Oktoberfest brew review. And if you're here because you like cheap beer, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button or follow, depending on the platform you're watching. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers or subscribers as fast as possible because I have low self-esteem and I need the approval of others. All right, let's jump right into it. Up this round is Yuengling Oktoberfest. Now, if you're not new to my channel, you may say, hey, didn't you do Yuengling Oktoberfest last year in 2020? Yes, I did. However, I want to do it again because I've heard rumor that Yuengling changes their Oktoberfest recipe slightly every year. Now, I reached out to Yuengling and they say, no. We do not change our recipes. We haven't changed our recipes for 190 years. So apparently they may change their recipe. Nah, I don't think they do. You know, but as beer drinkers, there are many times when you may have a beer, then after some time expires, you try it again, and it tastes totally different to you. So I want to give it a go for the year 2021, regardless of the time of the year you're watching this. Last year's 2020 version of Oktoberfest, if you haven't seen it yet, you might want to check it out. And coming up at the end of this brew review, I'm going to rank Yuengling Oktoberfest out of 5 stars. How good of a cheap beer is it? So hang in there until the end of the video. Last year's Oktoberfest in Munich was canceled, then unfortunately the 2021 Oktoberfest has been canceled due to COVID. So we're going to take our American Oktoberfest beer and drink it right here in America. All right, and if you're new to this channel, you may not know about those 2 haters who used to kill me for drinking the cheap brews right out of the bottles or the cans. Well, that inspired merch, the sold out a Beer Snob's cheap brew review pint glass. Let's twist off the top and see what we got. Of course, the twist off cap is one of the sure signs that it is a cheap brew. Very effervescent open, look at that. It's vaping. Yuengling says their Oktoberfest beer pays homage to their German heritage. And I must say the color does that. There we go, the almost non-existent head, which is not really a characteristic of a Märzenbier or an Oktoberfest beer, but hey, we got what we got. So time for the liquid to hit the lips, and I don't want to drink alone. Grab yourself a beer. Let's go. Prost. There we go. 90-some degrees and a cold beer. My eyes are tearing. 5-point-something% alcohol. I think it was 5.4 and 168 calories. And I have to admit, this tastes very similar from what I remember from the 2020 Yuengling Oktoberfest. I would have to say Yuengling Oktoberfest, if you've never had an Oktoberfest beer before, you're probably gonna like it. All right, if you like Yuengling, you will probably like Yuengling Oktoberfest. And if you've never had one of the true Oktoberfest beers, one of the big 6 that they serve in Munich for Oktoberfest, if it ever happens ever again with the whole COVID thing, you might not like it. I do get notes of almost like a Miller Genuine Draft. What I look for in an Oktoberfest beer is a very yeasty, malty, almost no hop beer. I am getting that maltiness. I'm not getting the yeast, and it has an appropriate amount of hops, which is virtually none. But again, I'm still getting that sort of that cheap beer taste. I do get that little bit of a Yuengling aftertaste to it. It's one of those kind of beers, once you drink it, you're like, all right, but I anticipate having a banger of a headache later on. Check out my 2020 review of Yuengling Oktoberfest to see the score that I gave it. I don't recall it right offhand. For me, it's just an okay. It does taste like an American knockoff of a true Oktoberfest beer, which is essentially what it is. You can throw a few of these in the cooler for tailgating, for early football season. I could not imagine anyone pouring this beer out and saying, oh, it's just awful. Oh, and speaking of cheap brews, I got a 6-pack of Yuengling Oktoberfest for $7.99, which is right at my threshold for cheap beer. All right, so out of 5 stars, 5 being a very good cheap brew, where would I rank Yuengling Oktoberfest? I'm gonna have to ring you up at a 3.78. out of 5 stars. Hey, please subscribe if you haven't already and share this video, and also definitely comment down below. I'd love to read your comments, your experience with Yuengling Oktoberfest, and also suggestions of other beers that I can review here on our channel. Hey, grab another beer before you check out some more of my 100+ brew reviews on this channel as we're growing and growing. And hey, it's a beautiful day here in the beer Wiesen, so go grab yourself a beer and you drink that beer. Prost!